Welcome to the Fascia-Informed Therapist, the essential podcast for occupational therapy professionals looking to deepen their understanding of fascia's pivotal role in therapy and health. I'm your host, Amy Mayer, an experienced occupational therapist, practice owner, and dedicated educator. Here we'll dive into the fascinating world of fascia, exploring its significance in the human body and its critical influence on occupational therapy practice. Each episode will bring you cutting-edge insights, expert interviews, and practical strategies to help you confidently integrate the science of fascia into your therapeutic approach. Whether you're a seasoned practitioner or just starting out, our goal is to equip you with high-quality, evidence-based, and fascia-informed continuing education opportunities that will enhance your skills and benefit your clients. So join us as we unravel the complexities of fascia and transform the way you practice occupational therapy. All health and wellness practitioners are welcome. Let's learn, grow, and evolve together. Hi, I'm Amy, and this is another edition of the Fascia-Informed Therapist. Today, I'd like to talk about my practice, my business, how I choose to structure what I offer the world in terms of all things fascia. And this idea came to me after reading a little bit about a conversation that was going on online between some therapists who do myofascial work and saying, if you offer this particular kind of fascia work, then that is all you should do. And there was other therapists who disagreed. And this is going to oftentimes I feel a little unpopular in many of the camps, because I feel like as an occupational therapist, many OTs might look at me and say, why are you doing so much manual therapy? And my response to that is because it works, because it's helpful, because I'm making a difference in many people's lives with what I do. But then I also feel like in the myofascial world that in that camp, oftentimes, a lot of, in particular, the barn style that I know and practice and I love, some say you should just call yourself a Barnes myofascial therapist and that's all you should do. And I strongly disagree with that. Even though I do really think the research and the science is pointing towards the barn style because it's so gentle and it operates at the right depth, and it just is really what the body needs. And after 30 some years of doing it, I'm completely convinced. But there is no way you can convince me that I should let go of everything else that I've learned in 32 years of being an occupational therapist. I think we are doing a huge disservice if we don't build in a lot of other things to what we are offering our clients who come to us to get on the table and get work done to feel better. And I would compare what I'm about to say to somebody who goes to the doctor because they have pain in their wrists and hands. And the doctor says, sounds like you have carpal tunnel. I'm going to refer you to this surgeon. And they go to the surgeon and the surgeon says, yep, it looks like you have carpal tunnel. I'd recommend we do surgery. And they go and they have surgery and they feel better. But nobody talks to them about ergonomics. Nobody talks to them about how to move and exercise to prevent that. Nobody talks to them about posture. And they end up with the same symptoms once again, maybe weeks, maybe months, maybe years later. And I've seen that more than a couple times in my time as an occupational therapist, where somebody just did exactly that. They went and had carpal tunnel surgery, but nobody ever educated them about anything else. So we have to think about our clients who are seeking us out, and so many people are looking for Barnes myofascial work. They're hearing about it on podcasts and in articles online. They're Googling it, they're searching for it. And that's one of the reasons I put myofascial in the name of my business, because I knew that would help get people to be able to find me more easily on the internet. But we have to think about what got those people in pain in the first place. And if they come and we work on them and we make them feel better, but we release them back out into the world, they're going to build up that same kind of tension that got them looking for us in the first place. So one of the things that I talk about in my courses and that I'm going to talk about now is the concept of fascia wellness. So we know, and the science is telling us, that tension builds in our fascia. And tension builds in our fascia for a lot of reasons, but the bottom line is we just don't use our bodies in the way that our bodies are designed to be used. Technology and culture has evolved way faster than our bodies have been able to keep up. And if we were still living in nature, the way that our bodies are designed, we would be moving all throughout the day in all sorts of positions with all sorts of resistance. We'd be squatting more. We'd be sitting on the floor. We would be choosing all sorts of different sleeping and standing and sitting positions. But now we have one primary sitting position. We have soft beds to sleep in. We have and so much more stress in our lives as well. So one of the things that I will not let go of in my practice is teaching my clients about how to keep their fascia healthy, to make them less dependent on me. And I teach everything from diaphragmatic breathing, because diaphragmatic breathing is one of those ways that you can keep tension from building up in the body. So before I keep going, let me talk about one more thing. So I don't want my clients to be dependent on me for myofascial work, because there's so many people that need help. So I teach my clients to, once we start getting the tension out of the body, how can they do two things? One is prevent it from coming back in. And then the second thing is, what can they do when they do get tension build up in the fascia? What can they do themselves to chase it out? So one of those things is diaphragmatic breathing can both prevent it from building up and then also chase it out. And the movement of the diaphragm helps to calm the body, stimulate the vagus nerve, and bring us down into that homeostasis and even lower into the rest and digest state so that our bodies can function well and heal. Learning how to manage stress and diaphragmatic breathing is a part of that. So understanding the scientific way that stress builds up in the body, helping my clients create an awareness of that's a thing. Most people don't realize or accept that that's a thing. They think it's woo-woo. But when you explain to them the scientific process of how that happens, they start to open their eyes and they start to see that connection between the stress that they're putting themselves through all day long, even though it might be low-level stress, still has an impact, direct physical impact on the body. The other thing we talk about is hydration, and that hydration isn't just pushing water in all day long, it's also moving so the sponge of your fascia pulls it deep in and it can actually get to your cells. Nutrition, keeping your foods as healthy as possible so you're not letting inflammation build in your body and, again, cause that tension and the problems that lend to ending up with pain and tension and dysfunction. And then supplementation. teaching them a little bit about that as well and how that can help them, of course, within our professional boundaries. Another area that I talk to my clients about is sleep. If we don't educate them on what good quality sleep does for us, I was just listening to another podcast with Andrew Huberman, who's saying if we're not getting 80% of our nights we're not getting decent sleep, good quality length and depth of sleep, then we're functioning suboptimally. That's how important sleep is. And my message to my clients is it's another opportunity to keep tension out of your body, to be more well, and to, if you are trying to heal from something, including pain, that your trajectory of healing is going to be more of what you're looking for and not this long, slow, drug out effort to heal. The next is posture. Everybody in my practice gets education about posture, what they can do. We look at specific alignment points and what can they do to improve their posture. And posture is huge. If you haven't paid attention to my other podcasts and other or podcasts to come, also to the courses that I offer, your body is your fascia is in a constant state of building and rebuilding itself. And it only knows how to rebuild itself based on the postures that we choose. And when we are not standing up against gravity in a way that our body is designed, we're putting lots of tension into our fascia. The next is creating that just right stability and mobility. Do we have full access to our joints in the way that we were designed? Do we have too much stability, too much tension in our body, or do we have just the right amount of stability to keep us up against gravity, but yet still let us move freely? We talk about stretching and movement and the right kinds of exercise, going out of the nonlinear planes in order to keep the fascia healthy and keep it mobile and stable in all parts of our body. If we stick to the linear, which most of us do, we are not preparing our bodies for life. We are just trying to look a certain way or feel a certain way. If we want to really maintain function and keep as much stress out of and tension out of our fascia as possible, we're going to move outside the linear planes. Moving in them, that's fine, but we got to go outside the linear planes as well. And we've got to find things that offer us full ranges of motion on a regular basis. I also want my clients to do other kinds of body work. It's often, in my perspective, it's not just one thing that's going to get people better. It's layers of things. And for example, I had a client who she kind of comes and goes depending how she's feeling. But I had a client who thought that the myofascial work was the very best thing she could find, and it really helped her feel a lot better in her body. But the tension would keep sneaking back in, and she went and she found Pilates, tried Pilates. Once she started Pilates, that really helped her body feel better a lot longer. High stress job, lots going on in her family. So a lot of tension coming back in all the time, but the combination of the myofascial work and the Pilates and eating better was another thing for her too, made a huge difference. And I don't see her nearly as much anymore. And that's exactly what I want for my clients. I think it's completely okay for people to come in and just want an hour of myofascial work. I go do that. It feels amazing, and I feel wonderful during, and that hour of feeling wonderful helps bring you down into that more parasympathetic state. And that's incredible for the body. That's so healing during that time. And any time we can spend down in that healing zone is huge, absolutely huge. So I'm not saying that people shouldn't go just get an hour or hour and a half or two or however long you want. that's good. But if we're not offering all these other scientifically valid and important ways of helping their bodies heal and stay well, then I think we're doing our clients a disservice. If we don't want to offer that ourselves, or we don't feel comfortable offering that, then pointing our clients in a direction where they can learn those things for themselves is important, because we don't want to create frequent flyers. And I don't think that's wrong either. I have clients who come every single week because it helps them feel their best. And I have clients who come once a month or every other month because they just want to have that wellness sort of check-in. And then I have clients that just sort of pop up when they're having a problem or a flare-up or something's going on, a lot of stress in their lives, and that will flare up those old physical issues. And all that is okay and absolutely fine with me. I love it. I have amazing clients. I so love what I do. If there are myofascial therapists that are listening to this, if you don't feel comfortable, you don't want to add all those other things in, that's why I've created a lot of courses for the public where they can learn more about posture. They can learn more about different kinds of movement. They can learn more if they want to explore yoga. They can learn how to create the right yoga practice for them based on their health needs. Or if you are the therapist that wants to learn these things and want to learn how to connect the science of fascia to all these things, then I have courses for you too. All my courses are really targeted toward the occupational therapy practitioners, but I welcome all kinds of practitioners who want to learn more about the science of fascia and all the things that we can offer, whether you're a mental health therapist, whether you're a physical therapist or a PTA, an OTA, a speech and language pathologist, a nursing professional, a nurse practitioner. Anybody who wants to learn about the science of fascia can benefit from these courses, and also, again, how to not just connect the science, but connect it in a way that you can explain it to your patient or client so they get it. And that's what I really love to do, is help my clients get it. So they have one more person and one more way of explaining why sleep is important, why diaphragmatic breathing is important. When they start to connect that with the fascia, and then they also connect that with their pain or their lack of mobility or whatever else is going on in their body, lack of balance, then they get it, and they start to change. They start to implement those new wellness practices into their lives, and they can see changes in their own body. They're feeling the changes. And when that happens, that's pretty magical. It's pretty great for me to see and watch, and it's pretty wonderful for them to be able to get back to that quality of life that we really all deserve. So I hope that was helpful for some of you. Maybe there's someone that still doesn't agree with me. That's fine. If you don't, you are welcome to email me and have a conversation. And I love other perspectives. I think if we're not always listening and learning and growing, then we're stagnant. And I'm a learner. If you've ever taken the Strength Finders, I'm a learner, number one, and love to hear those perspectives. And if you're somebody who is, and you've got something else, I would love to hear about that as well. So please feel free to contact me, and you can check out everything that we have to offer here at Mare Wellness on Fascia-Informed.com. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in to the Fascia-Informed Therapist. It's been a pleasure sharing insights and strategies to help you integrate fascia science into your practice. I'm Amy Mayer, and I hope today's episode has inspired you to explore further and take your therapeutic skills to the next level. Remember, we're committed to creating and providing top-notch, evidence-based, fascia-informed continuing education that empowers you as an occupational therapy practitioner Stay connected with us for more enriching content, and don't forget to check out our online courses to deepen your expertise. Until next time, keep expanding your knowledge, refining your skills, and confidently applying the science of fascia to your practice. Here's to advancing together in health and wellness.